let's have a spoiler-free talk about Silent Hill 2, the original. I never played the original, but I did. I played the fan-made enhanced version, which you can find. So if you don't end up liking this remake, go ahead and look up Silent Hill Enhanced Edition. It just had its last update and everything else is for stability now. It is such a well-made fan remaster, and you can play it on PC. It's wonderful, and I played that in January of this year. Silent Hill 2 is a game. I think it is a better story than it is a game, at least the original. I think the story is very good. I think it hits a lot of notes, and it is very tense, and it can be very creepy and unnerving how people act. And a lot of that's not even down to the actual intention. A lot of what makes the original game is the novice feeling of it. Like, the voice acting is very strange, the writing is very strange. I'm sure some of it was intentional, but I feel like a lot of it wasn't. A lot of just weird tones, and it's like Silent Hill 2 is a really, really good experience. Gameplay? Now, gameplay is a different story. It is very basic. It is mostly a puzzle-solving game. Gameplay, especially when it comes to attacking, is very PlayStation 2. Very early PlayStation 2. It wasn't like Resident Evil, from what I can tell, where it's like, it's not, or like, because I played it, it's not like that. It doesn't hurt the game, though it is a little bit slow-paced at the very start. At least the original was, in my opinion. But like the beats that all the characters have, and just the scenery, and just like not knowing what's going on when you're first going through it is such an experience. And I wonder if though I'll be able to recapture some of that with the remake here once that's done downloading. I really hope it does. If it doesn't, that doesn't mean the game is bad. I've just already played Silent Hill 2. I've played the original. So the story might not blow me away, as I've already played the original unless they've changed some of it. I've seen the reviews come out, and I was very happy to see that they're coming after rave reviews. Like, I hope Konami does good in games again. Like, there's never a time where I'm like, damn, I want Konami to fail and Silent Hill to disappear and Metal Gear to disappear. Like, I want them to release games and then be good. Like, and if this having good reviews with this game, I'm super excited to see that. I am mostly really interested to see the gameplay of Silent Hill 2 Remake. I've purposefully not watched anything after the second technical presentation. I haven't watched any trailers outside of those, outside of the transmissions. I think my favorite thing that I saw before this game has now been released was the interview with the developers of Bloober Team. Seeing that really made me a bit more confident in this game. And a lot of people, this was the first transmission, when a lot of people were still shitting on the remake. And I just think they're like, this isn't the same, this isn't the same, this isn't the same. And like, I understand, things have to change. You can't release the original Silent 2 today. Not because you couldn't write it, but because of all the weird things around it, right? Like the weird voice acting, the weird gameplay, and like the weird story. The story you can keep. The voice acting, you can't purposefully fuck up voice acting to a point. Even though it helped the original, you just can't do that. Like, you have to find ways to improve on it other than the story, which I assume they've kept most of the story intact from what I've understood. Seeing the interview with Bloober Team and seeing how they were talking about the game, how much they cared about the original, and they almost seemed anxious about game is ready to play. They almost seem anxious to talk about how they are trying to bring it to a new audience. Not exactly improving it, but bringing it to a modern audience with like new graphics, but trying to keep some of the feel in a way that makes sense for newer games. And I think it looks, for everything that I've seen from the transmission, personally, I think looked really good. I think it improved in the second transmission from what I've seen. And then I haven't seen anything since that. Since then. And then this game just came out. I wasn't even prepared for this game to come out. The gameplay in Silent Hill 2 original just couldn't be used. It just cannot be used for this. So like a lot of people saying it's an action game now. I haven't seen those action scenes. I heard there's a dodge, but I heard that a lot of people are saying it's like, well, he would have to, you know, like, why wouldn't he? And like, I remember seeing the original fighting mechanic in the remake, like in the transmission, and I was like, it looks like he doesn't really know how to swing. And it's like, that's great. Because he shouldn't, doesn't mean he shouldn't try. Like, I think a lot of people are like, I can't believe he's like fighting back, actually, but it's like, he's not. He's fighting back like you would if there's a fucking thing coming after you. You grab a 2x4. You know, like, you swing that thing. You know, like, you don't fucking care. At some point, you gotta defend yourself. Either way, I'm very excited to see what they do with the gameplay, how that resonates. I'm excited for this game. I think it has promise. I think the remake shows a lot of promise. I'm not the biggest fan of the original, but that's probably because I don't have the nostalgia for it. I didn't grow up with it. I played it and I really respect it for its story, and I respect it for the artistic, like, just the art in it, the music, the sounds, the designs, the environment and the story are so good, and the gameplay is tedious. So very excited to see what Bloober Team does with the remake. I think the only thing they really had to figure out was the gameplay loop. What is going to be the gameplay loop? And I really hope they did. And reviews seem to say they do, or at least majority. So either way, very excited.